They worked for the CIA. They told me to go with them, so I complied. I took a seat in the back of their truck. They told me I couldn't even tell my wife that I was leaving, so I left her, sitting on the couch. I wasn't to see her for a long time. On the car ride, they explained to me that they can't tell me exactly where we're going. They told me to put on the blindfolds, so I couldn't know the exact location of where we were going. Eventually, the car stopped, and I began to hear helicopter blades going. They told me to keep coming with them, and at the time I was still wearing a blindfold, and soon thereafter we were in a helicopter flying. After what I would estimate would be about 45 minutes, the helicopter landed. They took off my blindfold, and they told me we were in a top secret military base. They couldn't tell me the exact location of where I was. A few different men wearing black suits ushered me into an underground facility at the base. Now remember, I haven't a clue where this base was. They brought me underground. Now, having worked for the Central Intelligence Agency, I had a little bit of an idea of what we were doing. You see, back when I worked for the CIA, they were telling me about this one project in which they would test the limits of space and time itself. And they were working with top scientists on how to solve some of the biggest issues facing our Earth. I wasn't exactly sure what, but I had remembered that I had previously signed up. Now remind you, this was around 10 years before. I worked for the CIA in the 1970s, and they come get me around 10 years later. After walking down this long hallway, there was a room on the right side. They told me to come into the room, and inside the room I saw this contraption with wires, and it was made of metal. Very big contraption. It was a big cube. Wires sticking out, gauges on the side. I didn't know exactly what to think of it. It was just me and this one scientist inside the room. He told me, "This is a time machine." Obviously, I was in shock. Now, I knew the CIA had developed previous technologies before they came out. It's just how it is. The technologies that you're using right now, like smartphones, they were developed around 30 years prior to them actually being released. So you can only imagine what technologies they have right now. Upon that man telling me it was a time machine, he soon told me that I was going to be the first test subject. I was going to be the first one. He told me there was a high probability of me getting hurt or dying, and that I could not opt out. He reminded me of when I signed up as a test subject for advanced technologies. I complied. He had me put on this metal helmet, in which there was only a small slit in which I could look out. He said this was to help protect from the radiation involved. I also had to put on this tin suit to also help prevent radiation. Now you see, we didn't know exactly what was going to happen. We didn't know if it would work. Sat me in a small room and we had many meetings. I had meetings with various scientists telling me what to expect, telling me what to do during the process of the actual time traveling itself. They told me what to do. They told me to lay still. You see, in the contraption, you had to lay down on your back. And they would pick you up on a stretcher and slide you into this one slot. Inside the slot, it was pitch black once they closed the door to the slot. And I had no clue what was inside of there, what was about to happen to me. After having various meetings about what was going to happen, we decided it was finally time to go through with it, and we were ready for the initial test.